We're at the Harewood Forest, which is near Denmark, Western Australia. It's a beautiful Karri forest with some absolutely enormous trees here, and it's a place I often come to get away from Albany's dreary, windy days. And it's quite a sheltered spot here, and it's pretty easy to get to. So it's in Mount Shadforth, and we're going to have a walk. It takes about an hour to do. So here we go. So there's some incredible trees here. It's an absolute place of beauty. And there's a sign here all about it. So this, what it's called is the Harewood Forest Walk Trail. And it's about 2.8 kilometres. So yeah, roughly about an hour. And there's a route there of the actual trail, which you climb a bit and then you come back down. So it's a lovely place to come to, whether it's a sunny day, dull day, windy day, whatever. Even when it's raining, it's beautiful here. So this is the entrance. So you've got these steps that go down and goes over a stream that runs through. And it's amazing because just down the road it's so windy, and yet here it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. And this is on a windy day. But look at those trees. So here's the stream, which is actually quite calm at the moment. Normally I've seen this running quite brief and fast. And you got this sort of metal grated bridge goes over it. There's some debris of branches down there from previous storms, and you just then enter this amazing forest of these majestic Karri trees. So it's a loop. So this is the trail that goes upwards, and then down there onto the left there is the trail that brings return. Okay, so there's a shot of the bridge leading from the road, and a little car park on the front there at the entrance. So this is the beginning of the loop at one end, and just look at those trees. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? And at the beginning here we've got a picnic. We have a picnic table here, which is nice if you want to come and bring your lunch and sit amongst this. And the trail is actually quite nice. It's not really that rocky. There's a little bit further up, but generally trainers, walking shoes are pretty good here. It's very earthy smelling. And we've been here on a sort of a really dry summer's day that's had no rain for months in Albany. We just come here, which is 50 kilometres west, and it's just the smells are amazing, very earthy smells. It's a lovely little kind of oasis really. So when you're walking through here, you often hear the sounds of birds that are high up in those trees, and I can just about hear a bit of a wind going on here, even though we're kind of a little bit high up. The wind doesn't seem to have much of an impact here. So it's a bit of a special place to come on a windy day, because there's no wind here. I can just feel an extremely gentle breeze. It's barely a breeze actually. The trees always get me though here. You see these amazing trees. It's even beautiful when there's a bit of sunlight coming through. There's some very interesting bark on these trees. I'm not sure what kind of trees they are. There could be some kind of she oak, but look at this. This very old bark, like cork. So I've been here quite a lot of times before and often done videos kind of similar to this, but more private videos I've just sent to friends and family, often recorded on my phone. But I thought, oh, this time perhaps I should do a bit of a video, show the world what such a special place we've got here. Such an unspoilt place. Can you hear the birds, the honey eaters doing their sounds? So you can hear the wind, can't you? It's at the top, very high up. Some of these trees must be 40 meters high. You can see them moving up there, can't you? Can you see the trees swaying? So the wind's going over the top. It's those interesting plants again. I don't know what they're called, but it'd be nice to grow them. There's a few more swaying trees up there. So now we're coming to our first step on this trail, and the sharp turn to the right. Starting to go up a bit now, and the sun's come out to reveal all these trees in the back. Some enormous trees here. Goodness how old they are, no idea. 100, 50? Just could stare. I could just stare at these trees all day. The blue sky as well. Beautiful. Well, I've had a few people comment on other videos I've done, quite negative stuff, saying, oh, that's boring, or something else not very nice. Well, my advice to you is you don't have to watch them. If this is not your cup of tea, don't watch. But you don't have to open your trap and start spewing out diarrhea. If you're going to do that, do it in your privacy of your own place. You don't have to do it on a public video, do you? There's lots of other videos that might suit your fancy anyway, that might kind of resemble the diarrhea you're into. Still climbing a little bit. And because it's springtime, flowers are appearing. There's some of these orange flowers, kind of a coral colour. I think they're called egg and bacon plants. Down here on my right. You see them? I'll just go into a little bit more so you can see. Yeah, they're kind of like orange and pink, coral colour. A little bit of a time warp there happening. Just thought I'd put that in the video so you're not being bored watching me stroll through this forest. For those of you who've got short attention spans, I'm sorry about that. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying being here away from all the troubles of life and the troubles of being around people sometimes which drain you. Such a sad time we live in, an era of narcissistic pandemic. where the condition and character of people has become extremely self-absorbed, where sadly the majority of people in our culture are only interested in their own self-interests. Most don't give a crap about anybody else really, unless there's something in it for them. And speaking from personal experience, of course. So if you recall that the name of this channel is Lee's Ramblings and Chats and Walks or whatever. So I do try to mix bringing beautiful nature and just get a few things off my chest and feeling. And it's very difficult to sometimes get by in our Western culture when people don't seem to be genuine as much as they used to be. And yeah, I might sound like a dinosaur, I don't really give a shit, but I'm just saying as it is. You should never be afraid of speaking the truth. So don't ever be afraid of sharing what's on your heart, even if it means upsetting or offending somebody. Not that it's my intention to, but if you are offended, then I suggest that you deal with it. Whatever is offending you by someone else's honest opinion is only reflecting something wrong in your own heart and mind. Some bird call rather. Yeah, people are just not reliable anymore. People change like the wind, that's an old saying. And sadly it's getting more and more true. It's nice to get out in nature like this away from people, just to try and reset. We live in a society that's obsessed with convenience, worship and gratification ahead of more important virtues like loyalty, honesty, truth and all those kinds of things. It's so sad that people have given up those morals that we all used to guard and defend, and now it's all taken for granted. And you know, most people carrying a lot of shame or guilt are basically this word that gets used a lot called meh, M-E-H, meh, which is basically, so what? I don't give a shit. And that's the attitude of this generation, a generation of self. Yeah, I'm sorry if this offends, but has to be said. So it's like here in the great southern of Western Australia, people seem to be more bothered about how many properties they own, you know, how many houses they own, who they know, their social status, etc., than being interested in developing, cultivating and nurturing a real community. So sadly, community has been replaced by another C word called clique, French word clique, which is false community, which is based upon some pretty bad virtues, often gossip, slander, boasting, gloating, all about them really. Very much, I was going to say sarcastic, but no, I mean, maybe I'm being sarcastic. Very much a narcissistic, if that's such a word, and narcissism being all about the individual. As for myself, I'm really more of a community person. I like to collaborate rather than compete. And in my industry I work in, unfortunately that industry is very much poisoned by a lot of greed and a lot of competition rather than collaboration. It's a shame people cannot work together, and so there's a lot of hatred in the industry I work in. But then again, the industry, if it is an industry, perhaps it's a hobby, a craft, a creativity, or photography and video, the same applies. I've never seen so many photographers who have insecurity issues, who you approach and they become very defensive and become hostile. I don't know why this is. This is something I find is a problem in this part of the world. And again, as I mentioned, as a person who wants to collaborate, connect with, build community, make friends and acquaintances, there seems to be a lot of deceitful people out there who appear to be very good morally and very nice people, which is just a mask. When your back's turned, the knife goes in. It's sad to say, but this is true. And those people who, if they ever get to watch this video, know who they are. They know who I'm talking about. And yeah, it is a common problem. Our society is rife with a lot of deception. It's so sad that we've come so far away from, I would call, godly virtues that were instilled in us as children, especially from people like our grandparents and sometimes our parents, and often sometimes even at school, that have now been eroded. And a lot of those morals, virtues and that have been with humanity a long time. There was a time, decades, maybe centuries ago, when a lot of people were what you call God-fearing. He would dare not disrespect elders or people, you know, in authority, or just parents and family members, mature friends, etc. And now there's a lot of disrespect. And a lot of it is based upon the Christian heritage of countries like Australia or the United Kingdom, America and that, which is sadly being eroded away because of a darkness, a thick dark cloud that has been contaminating everything about our society and our civilization for God knows how long, without the majority of people even noticing. So it's pretty sad. And this was all brought, I would think, to the fore 4 or 5 years ago when this whole COVID thing was going on, which I have much suspicion about. And I'm thankful I never took any of those toxic inoculations, because I used my brain. I didn't need the media to tell me what to do. I didn't need the government to manipulate or order me around. I'd got valid reasons for refusing that, but sadly, most of people in our society were very proud to get their boosters and very proud to get their COVID vaccines, even displaying pathetic avatars and profile pictures, how proud they were. Well, let me just say something, right? As a person who hates needles in the first place, why the heck would you want to be proud of going to get a 2-inch long needle stuck in your arm, which is quite painful? And then on top of that, the reports, which was also in mainstream media, of people having some terrible, severe side effects, even deaths, caused by these so-called vaccines. I just don't understand why nobody has learnt a damn thing in 5 years. And the next wave of government-sponsored cognitive dissidence, is that the word? Of the next thing about digital IDs and lots of other issues, and the continual degradation of our society through acceptance of things that are no longer normal, or certainly were never normal. This is the madness of our culture. This is why you've got to get away from it and just come somewhere like here, just to have a break from all this shit, and just get away from people who are just so caught up in that system, you know. Anyway, enough of the rant. I don't really fit into this stupid society, to be honest, and I'm not really bothered about that. It's sad, but I've tried. And I don't really care. If you judge me, I don't care. I have my own convictions, and I have my own decisions. Anyway, as I said, the channel is about a bit ranting. I tried to go a bit easy on it, and obviously don't want to be too negative. Now the wind's picking up again. Can you hear it? So we're still climbing here, and there's a couple more steps ahead. Another little bit of a time lapse there. Lots of these grasses here now, and it's a bit rocky underfoot, so just be careful if you do come out here. Still climbing a little bit. So bushes with white flowers all over the valley. We're dropping down a little bit here, but I think it climbs a bit more further up. We're on the ridge, so we're probably about 50 meters above the road, perhaps. So yeah, as the sign at the beginning says, it's about 2.8 kilometers long. Which is what? Is it a mile and 2/3, is it? In old money? It's amazing. Looking across there, look at that. Interesting tree there, interesting bark. Let's carry on. Yeah, so it's a good place just to unwind away from the rat race. There's so much in this culture of ours that can get you down, because you're dealing with the wills of other people that you don't actually agree with, especially wills of people who are greedy and all that kind of palaver. Oh, my phone's going. Sorry about that. I had the good old Telstra ringing me up on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of the bushland because I reported some awful local mobile coverage issues in Albany a few days ago, of which they wouldn't accept as being their problem. They were blaming my phone and said I had to do this, that and the other, and I did all that, made no difference. Having a few issues trying to ring up mobiles and just would drop out immediately, wouldn't connect. The problem with Telstra is you're not actually speaking to anybody in the country anymore. You're dealing with people in India and other places, which really isn't great. Their claim to be an Australian firm is quite frankly a piss take when you're dealing with the usual call centres from thousands and thousands of miles away. There needs to be a real shake-up of this system, these so-called government companies like Telstra and Australia Post and Western Power, who are all on the grab. I mean, Western Power recently, being prosecuted for ripping people off millions and millions of dollars in overpriced bills. Tell me, Western Power, are you planning to refund your thousands of customers, including myself, for overpayment? Or will that just be swept under the rug by some corrupt Masonic judge? Which is frankly a disgrace. Anyway, it's another rant. But yeah, it really gets on my nerves why this shit goes on. It's just disgusting. We live in a very disgusting, greedy society. And look, I'm not a socialist, but there are a lot of ugly faces and facets of capitalism which need to be dealt with. Socialism really isn't the answer, because there's always elites in socialism who get the nice life and the peasants get to live a basic life of control and constant surveillance. So what is the answer? Even if there was some kind of hybrid of capitalism and socialism, I'm not sure if that would even work. I guess that's where China is going now. China's got its communism, but it's actually very money obsessed as well. They love money. So I don't know what the answer is. I presume there are lots of other ideologies and political solutions to these issues. I think getting back to some basics of how we all got on in the past would be a good start. People start loving one another and forgiving one another and being responsible for crap that they cause, I would say. And then we can start rebuilding our society, and we won't need any other culture or society coming in onto our shores trying to take over, really. And that's not a racist thing, by the way. Anyway, getting back to the walk. Okay, we've hit some deep stone steps. We're going downhill now, so this is the downhill bit. So it's quite a sharp turn to the left. So I'll show you what it looks like. And there's the path showing you there as you come down. So you come down here and around. So just be careful, especially if you've got dogs. Keep them on a lead at all times, because there's quite some nasty drops down there and you don't want to get injured, etc. So this is generally going downhill. I think it goes up a little bit in some places. The trees are still swaying. Wow, amazing. Make a good photograph, that, wouldn't it? Hello. The sun's out. There's a bit of blue sky. The sun's getting low. So it's kind of late afternoon now. The shadow has emerged. How are you, Kathy? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's good. It's a lovely time, isn't it? A lovely walk.
Yeah.
Isn't life fantastic? Sarcastic mode off. Yeah, there's some beautiful light happening at the moment now. The sun's getting low, shining through the trees. It's quite nice. Cinematic. So we're still descending as the sun is slowly fading. There's another bend here. Start to see some beautiful light now as the sun is very low and it's shining beautifully on these trees. I mean, look at that. I love eucalyptus trees. They're not great for gardens. There's a few that are, but in themselves they're a beautiful tree. When I lived in the UK, I grew about 30 varieties of eucalyptus that will tolerate the damp and cool, cold winters of the UK. And a lot of them did too well, actually. They grew too big, too fast, because I think the soils were too rich. Australian plants are generally grown in poor soils. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I'm just going to take my time with this. Wow. It's gorgeous. So majestic. There's a little box here on this tree. Does anyone know what that is? Anyway, carry on. Beautiful light now, really is beautiful. I always love this time of the day. Look at that. I always love the light coming through on the vegetation and then shining onto the trees like that. It's beautiful, isn't it? More flowers. Oh look, another picnic bench over there. And a sign here. Wild places, quiet places. Well, that's what we need. So there's the second area you can stop and have a lunch or a drink or something and have a rest. But we'll carry on because we've got to get down the hill and we've got a 45-minute drive back to Albany. This orange and pink flower that I called an egg and bacon plant, egg and bacon flower, apparently it's not the name of it. If anyone knows what it's called, please say so in the comments below. The birds are loving it. So as we're descending now, I can see the road over there. And we're coming down quite close. But we're probably another 300-400 meters away from the car park. So it just winds around. And I'm just loving these trees. I'm glad you're enjoying this video. It's very relaxing, this place. I hope some of the nature of this place will show into the video. During the 1920s, Western Australia offered free land to settlers from the United Kingdom under the group settlement scheme. If only that still wasn't applicable and alive today. For some reason, I've got the song Teddy Bear's Picnic playing in my head, walking through this forest. If you go down to the woods today, blah, 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 blah. And that one, yeah, etc., etc. Maybe I should put it in the video, yeah. What these white spots are on the back. See all the white spots on these little twiggy trunks. See that? What's all that about? White spots, they're everywhere. Is it a disease or just a characteristic of the particular type of tree? road's over there. We're actually below the road now. So it's gone into a valley area. But we're getting pretty close to the end now. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk, talk and rant. Please like and subscribe. And share with friends if you can. Appreciate it very much. There's a doggy. Hey. These trees. Wow, they're still swaying. Oh, the dog's barking. Oh, we're going up. Truly golden hour. Oh, I can see the car park now, so we are almost at the end of the Harewood Forest loop trail. So there's the car park just down there, and the bridge is emerging where we started, and they have a picnic bench over there to the left, and here is the end of the trail. This is where we started about an hour or so ago, and there is the bridge again. So it's a goodbye to Harewood Forest here in Denmark. Until the next video, thank you for watching, thank you for enjoying it. I hope you did, and please subscribe, as I mentioned before. I've got heaps of more videos to edit yet. Okay, so here we go. This is the very end, and there's the car park.